So, what happens when a simple fashion statement spirals into a full-blown obsession? Today, we're going to unpack one of Bob Dylan's most brilliant takedowns, a story of jealousy, betrayal, and one very, very famous hat. Right from the very first line, Dylan puts the subject front and center. And you know what's funny? It's not about a person. Not yet, anyway. It's all about the hat. This one, specific, brand new leopard skin pillbox hat. Every single word that follows is just a reaction to it. All right, section 1, the famous hat, an object of fascination. So how in the world does Dylan build this entire story around a single piece of headwear? Well, it all starts with our narrator's fascination, an immediate and intense focus he just can't seem to shake. Okay, before we get too deep into the story, let's just get the basics down. This track, it's from Dylan's legendary 1966 album, Blonde on Blonde. I mean, this is right in the middle of his electric, world-changing phase. Huge stuff. So, the narrator's fascination is, like, immediate and intense. He doesn't just hang back and admire the hat. No, he goes right up to the owner and basically says, "Well, you must tell me, baby, how your head feels under something like that." I mean, talk about a bold opening line, right? It's almost invasive from the get-go. Okay, let's move on. A strange attraction. From observation to obsession. Because this initial curiosity, oh, it's just the beginning. It quickly spirals into a full-blown obsession. And believe me, the narrator's questions start to get, well, pretty weird. And then, bam, he drops this line, totally out of left field. It's so abrupt, so bizarre. It just completely shatters any idea that this is a normal conversation. We've officially gone from simple observation to this surreal, almost aggressive kind of obsession. I mean, the imagery here is just fantastic, right? It's a completely nonsensical comparison, but it perfectly captures the narrator's warped perception. You can tell he's not really seeing reality anymore. He's just trapped in this weird fantasy, and it's all centered on this hat. And this is where it really peaks. The height of his weirdness comes when he suggests a date to watch the sunrise, where he'll wear a belt on his head to complement her hat. It's this final kind of quirky moment of obsession right before the entire story takes a very, very sharp, dark turn. All right, part 3. The doctor is in. The story takes a turn. And honestly, just when you think this song can't possibly get any stranger, it veers hard. The weird comedy about a hat? Yeah, that's about to become a full-on drama about infidelity. And it's all thanks to one new character, the doctor. So the narrator sets the scene for us. He tried to visit the woman, right? But her doctor told him, no, it's bad for her health. So what does our guy do? Of course, he ignores the doctor's orders completely. You just know this is setting up an inevitable confrontation. And here it is, the moment of truth. You've got this stark contrast between his hopeful intention and the just soul-crushing reality he walks into. He came to see her, but he found him there instead. And this right here is where Dylan's cynical genius just shines. He says he doesn't even mind the cheating. Nope. But what he does mind is the doctor wearing her hat. I mean, in his completely twisted logic, the actual infidelity is just a minor detail. The real betrayal is someone else wearing this iconic piece of fashion. Okay, next section. The garage door secret, the final reveal. And if you thought that was the final twist, well, you'd been wrong. Dylan has one more reveal up his sleeve. A final, brutal verse that leaves absolutely no room for doubt. So get this, it turns out the narrator didn't just find the doctor there, he saw everything. And the way it's revealed is so blunt, so comically mundane, you almost have to laugh. Their big, torrid secret wasn't some masterfully hidden affair. Nope, they just forgot to close the garage door. And here it is, the final punchline. The narrator's conclusion is that this new guy, the doctor, he doesn't love her for her money or her personality. No way. He loves her for the exact same thing that started this entire mess in the first place. The hat. It just all comes perfectly, cynically, full circle. Okay, last section. By the numbers, the song's enduring legacy. So we've got this incredible, cynical little story packed into just a few minutes. But the song's impact? It goes way beyond just the lyrics. Let's take a quick look at its enduring legacy. 535. Let that sink in. That's how many times Bob Dylan has performed Leopard Skin Pillbox Hat live, according to the official data. That is a staggering number, and it really speaks to the song's staying power. And this wasn't some late career addition. It was part of his live shows right from the very beginning, debuting in 1966, the same year the album dropped. And get this, it stayed in his setlist for nearly 50 years, with the last known performance back in 2013. That is just incredible. And hey, let's not forget, we're not talking about some obscure B-side here. This is a standout track on Blonde, an album that, many people consider one of the greatest of all time. Being a part of that kind of legacy gives this song a whole different level of importance. So after breaking all of this down, we're kind of left with this one big question, right? The song is obviously a brilliant little story about jealousy and betrayal. But is the hat just a hat? Or is it a symbol for something bigger? For superficiality, for fashion over substance, maybe for the hollow object of desire that distracts everyone from the real betrayal. I think that ultimately is what makes this song so completely timeless.